A year and a half ago, the Islamic State tore through Iraq's Al Anbar province and displaced thousands of Sunni Arabs who sought refuge in the Kurdistan region's Shaklawa. Today, the city faces overpopulation and a drastic change in demographics. Mayor, how has the economy been affected by the sudden increase in population?
Having refugees definitely has an effect. The current refugees have integrated with Shaklawa's people. This has created a big problem, economically and educationally. This has a negative effect on the services provided to the people. Before we were providing services to 25,000 people, and now we need to provide them to 50,000 people. A large number of people get sick and need medical treatment at the hospitals inside Shaklawa. This has created a big conflict in terms of being able to provide enough pills and treatments to all the patients from refugees and Shaklawa people as well. It makes it difficult for Shaklawa people to find jobs. This has created a big conflict. And the longer the refugees stay, the more problems we will face in Shaklawa and Kurdistan in general.
What is the current situation of these Arab refugees, and have they been provided humanitarian aid?
There are refugees who are in very poor condition, and there are some who are rich people staying in good places inside Shaklawa. This means there are two categories, good and bad. Most of the refugees are living in poor conditions with medium incomes. There are some people living in very bad conditions in the unfinished buildings and homes.
How have the refugees affected security in Kurdistan?
It is very easy for ISIS to reach Kurdistan. Thank God security forces in Kurdistan, and specifically in Shaklawa, have managed to be in control. So far, there have not been any problems. There are families with young men who might be with ISIS. We are receiving the refugees as a humanitarian act. Given the high rate of refugees fleeing to Kurdistan, this might include some very bad people. I asked the Kurdistan regional government to find an urgent solution for the refugees. We feel like the issues we have now in the summer will repeat in the winter in terms of electricity and other difficulties the Kurds might be facing. We as officials with the city are no longer capable of offering medical treatment, job opportunities, electricity, housing, and other services. It is becoming very difficult to afford it with Kurdistan's limited budget. We have a big conflict, and our responsibility has increased.
Those refugees who cannot afford to rent housing in the city are forced to take shelter in abandoned buildings or leave Shaklawa altogether.
There are no job opportunities. This rent is very expensive. There is no water, and we are in a very poor condition. No aid has been provided. We do not get any money from the government. We have rented a house of 2 rooms for 750,000 Iraqi dinars a month. Every day they force us to move from a place to another place. Previously we were located near Shaklawa Hospital, and now we are here. We have no money, no salary, nothing. When we were in Fallujah, we had our homes, jobs, and now we have nothing. We are about to become beggars. I owe people 900,000 Iraqi dinars. We want to go back to our homes as soon as possible.
Refugees like this elderly woman gather in the streets to sell fruits and vegetables in order to survive.
The rent of the houses is very high. There are no jobs, nothing. The Kurds are good to us, but the rent is very expensive. It costs 700,000 Iraqi dinars for a house. How can I afford it? What I want is security. Kurdistan is very secure. I don't want to go back to Fallujah.
Despite some tension, Arabs and Kurds here seem to get along well.
Regarding
the refugees who turned to Kurdistan, it's all because of Barzani's wisdom. There are many Iraqi and Syrian refugees in Kurdistan who have lots of respect for the Arab brothers. We have helped them because we have learned from the President Barzani and his wisdom to respect them and serve them. Until they are staying, we are their servants and we will serve them.
As more and more refugees continue to come to Shaklawa, the city's infrastructure is further strained. Until the Kurdistan Regional Government or Baghdad find a solution, the problems will only worsen. Kurt Nagel in Shaklawa for Rudao.
خيار 500 خيار